Had another orange, which would have meant another reroll. Oh no, it wouldn't. I've been getting the own rules of my game. It only counts if you have the same colour twice. Doesn't matter if it's 3 times. Hello my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and it's time for my March TBR. Now with the way February has gone, or well I should say is going, because as usual I'm filming this early, I'm only going to do 5 rolls and then 1 reroll. So if a colour comes up twice because I roll a 6 colour decided dice, then I'll reroll for that 1. I'm not doing any more than that because honestly with the new job and everything I'm not reading anywhere near as much, so rather than pressuring myself we're just going to stick to that. Anyway, with that out the way, let's just get straight to everything. So we've got to choose our 6th and final prompt for the month. Well, not even final, but you know what I mean. Okay, here we go. We're going with a blue. Representation. Always a solid prompt, that one. Now I didn't really explain what this game is about, but there are previous videos, I've got it all in a playlist, but basically I'm just rolling a 6 coloured sided dice. The colour represents a little dice that is sat on top of these cards, and that's the prompt I need a book to fulfill. And there's no doubling up on these prompts or anything like that, so I think it's time to get to roll number 1. Roll number 1. Yellow. Foil on the cover. Okay, so roll number 1 is foil on the cover, which works really well because I actually have a buddy read this month with Chris Reviews, who I'll have linked below, and we are meant to be buddy reading Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel, and the version I've got is literally nothing but gilded, honestly. But this is all about the Tudor time period, specifically about Anne Boleyn, and we are following the perspective from Thomas Cresswell, who is someone that basically brought about the downfall of the Boleyn family, and I'm so intrigued. I cannot wait. I read The Other Boleyn Girl, absolutely adored that book by Philippa Gregory, and that was following Anne Boleyn and her journey from being a simple little girl to becoming the Queen of England until her beheading, and so it'll be really interesting to read about that same time period but written by somebody else and from a different perspective as well. So very excited for this one, although I am kind of regretting it because it is a chunky one, but I'm going to try and keep my page count down, so fingers crossed the rest of the books won't be as big as this one. But I'm really pleased I actually fit it on this TBR because this is one that I will definitely be reading. Okay, so we need a new prompt and let's go with a green. Oh, we like that one. Under 200 pages. That would be perfect. Roll number 2. Orange. Representation. So for roll number 2 we got representation, and for this one I'm actually going to be finishing off a trilogy. I'm going with The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin. This is the 3rd and final book in the Broken Earth trilogy, and it's like a mixture of different genres. You've got a bit of sci-fi, a bit of fantasy and a bit of dystopian all rolled into one. So we're on our world but many years into the future, and there is now what we call a 5th season, which happens every few years, sometimes decades, where it basically just rips apart the earth, and it has this series of earthquakes and it causes basically a mass extinction. Now everyone is kind of used to it now, so they have really strict martial law that comes into play. There is talk about cannibalism and everything else in this book, and honestly it can be really dark in places. We're following our main character Essen, who in the beginning of the 1st book there is the 5th season that's just started, but she's not interested in that. She's interested in her children, because when she comes home her baby has been murdered and her daughter has been stolen, and so she is on a hunt to reclaim her daughter. I think it's an amazing story. It's so well done, and there is also really good representation in here. We have representation of a polyamorous relationship, and we also have basically characters that are gay, bisexual as well in this, so there's quite a lot of representation, which I really do like about this book. And honestly it'll be nice to actually finish a series at the start of the year. I think like that'd be really positive. Happy to be adding this one to the TBR. It is shorter, although I do remember it taking me a little bit of time to actually get through these books, but again, hopefuls, we're gonna try. Time for another prompt. Okay, let's go yellow. Okay, and we have oldest book on my TBR. I think I know what that book would be. Anyway, let's move on to roll number 3. Roll number 3. Orange. Again. So as we know, this is the oldest book on my TBR. Choosing another prompt. Let's go blue. Retelling. Okay, my first and only reroll in this game. Green. A thriller. Well, roll number 3 turned into my reroll for the month, but the first prompt is oldest book on my TBR. As I said, I already knew what this book was, and that is Blood Orange by Harriet Tice. This is meant to be a thriller book. Honestly, I picked it up because beautiful cover. It was going really cheap on Amazon, and one of my colleagues from my previous job was reading this and said it was actually quite a good book. So that's all I really needed to know. On the back it says, Alison has it all, a loving family and a career on the rise. She's just been given her first murder case to defend, but all is never as it seems. And on the front it says, a damaged marriage, a toxic affair, and a dark obsession. Sounds good. I'm hoping that because it's a thriller, generally I find them quite light, quick reads as well, so yeah. Let's see how it goes. And then for the reroll, we got thriller. So we're going to have 2 thrillers on the TBR this month. And this is the prompt that you guys are going to choose from. As usual, I do try and get one of the prompts where you guys get to vote on what I'm reading. So the 2 books to choose from this month are How to Kill Your Family by Bella Mackie, or The Dinner Guest by B.P. Walter. So both of these are thrillers. The Dinner Guest is more of a murder mystery one, where we have 4 people walked into the dining room that night. One would never leave. Matthew, the perfect husband. Titus, the perfect son. Charlie, the perfect illusion. Rachel, the perfect stranger. Charlie didn't want Rachel at the book club. Matthew wouldn't listen. It sounds intriguing. It was on the buy one get one half price, so that's why I picked it up from Waterstones. And then we have How to Kill Your Family, which honestly it was mainly that drew me in. And on the back it says, kill my family, make a claim on their fortune, get away with the above, adopt a dog. Meet Grace Bernard, daughter, sister, colleague, friend, serial killer. Grace has lost everything and now she wants revenge. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about this one. I picked it up because I adored this cover and it sounded hilarious, so I don't know. But like I said, I keep hearing a lot of mixed reviews. Some people like it, some people really don't and can't get on with the main character. I'm intrigued to see what my thoughts are on this. So those are the 2 books to choose from. A murder mystery thriller, The Dinner Guest, or How to Kill Your Family, which is more of a serial killer, and I think she's in prison, but not for the murder she actually committed. So let me know. Time to choose prompt number 4. Or well, fill up the space. I never know what's called. Anyway, let's go with a pink. Highest rated on my TBR. I feel like this one always pops up every couple months. Roll number 4. Orange again. Retelling. I am so pleased I put the cap on the amount of rerolls I'm going to do this month, because had another orange which would have meant another reroll. Oh no, it wouldn't. I've been getting the own rules of my game. It only counts if you have the same colour twice. Doesn't matter if it's 3 times. Okay, well that wouldn't have mattered anyway. And the prompt is retelling, and for this one I'm actually going to go with a YA fantasy retelling, and that is The Wolf Den by Elodie Harper. This is a retelling of Pompeii. Yes, The Wolf Den is the first in a trilogy of novels reimagining the wives in Pompeii's Lupina. I picked this one up because, well, I love retelling and that's all I really needed to know. So on the back it says, Amara was once a beloved daughter until her father's death plunged her family into penury. Now she is owned by a man she despises and lives as a slave in Pompeii's famous brothel. Her only value, the desire she can stir in others. But Amara's spirit is far from broken, sharp, resourceful, and surrounded by women whose humour and dreams she shares. Amara comes to realise that everything in this city has its price, but how much will her freedom cost? I don't really know what to expect in this one. I just know it's a YA fantasy, and considering that I do have, I mean, it's not massively chunky, but how I've been reading lately, quite a big TBR, I feel like something light to get through is going to be a good idea. I've heard not much about this one actually. There was a lot of hype when it first came out, but I haven't really heard anyone talking about it since. So it'll be interesting to see what I think of it. I'm hoping I'll enjoy it. Honestly, I'm not expecting anything amazing from this one, but at least like a 3 to 4-star read I'm hoping that I will get from this one. Just something solid, and from the sounds of it, a found family dynamic as well. Okay, time to choose the final prompt today. Let's go with another green. Sci-fi or dystopian? Let's get to that final roll. The 5th roll. Purple. A reread. The 5th roll, but the 6th prompt. Reread. I'm actually going to do something that I've never done before, and I'm going to leave this prompt open for me just to mood read whatever I feel like throughout the month. I think it's probably going to end up being House of Sky and Breath. I am getting that book. It's on pre-order. I'm going to be reading it in February. I don't have it yet as the time I'm filming this, but I also know I'm going to adore it. So that's probably going to be a strong contender for reread. However, having a nice open spot for March will be really nice, because then if I'm feeling a bit burnt out or low, I can just pick up whatever reread I feel like reading at the time. But as I said, as of now, I think it's going to be House of Sky and Breath. When I first read that book, I'm going to be speed reading it like a crazy person. So I will probably want to read it again and take it slowly. But yeah, I guess we'll see on that one. But my vote is going to be that. I guess we'll see at the end of March what I actually ended up rereading. So we have these 4 set books to read from, plus whatever book you guys end up choosing, which I always make sure I at least read that book. So 2 books I will definitely be reading this month will be Wolf Hall and one of these 2 that you guys get to choose from, plus hopefully fitting in the others as well, but the other 3 aren't as high priority. And of course the elusive reread, which will be based on my mood for that month. So there we have it. If you've made it this far, let's put a little book stack emoji, and don't forget to vote on which book you want me to read this month between The Dinner Guest and How to Kill Your Family. Put those in the comments below. But other than that, if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it that thumbs up, subscribe, comment to let me know that you're here. Social media links will be linked below, and I will of course catch you in the next one.